Right, and we have just seen the inaugural session of the GCC summit that is taking place in Gaza, where we have seen the speech or the speeches that were made by several of the heads of states. We have seen this important gathering, or this important conference that gathered together leaders of the GCC, or the Gulf Cooperation Council, plus Egypt, Jordan, Iraq, and in participation of the United Arab Emirates. The president who was participating in this important conference, in his inaugural speech to this conference, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman spoke about important points, or the important points that the conference is tackling. The conference is held under the slogan Security and Development Summit. The Crown Prince spoke about the importance of cooperation among the Arab states and extending the hand of peace to all the world in cooperating with them, as long as there is common interest and mutual respect and no interference in the internal affairs. The Crown Prince also spoke about the importance of respecting legitimacy in dealing with different causes, including the foreign interference in the Arab domestic affairs. The Crown Prince also spoke about putting or extending the ceasefire with Yemen, and also helping them humanitarily. He also spoke about a region that is clean of any weapons of mass destruction. Also, he wrote about the Palestinian cause and the importance of finding a permanent solution that is built on the Arab initiative. He also spoke about the importance of countries who are extending hands to cooperate with all the world bodies, including the International Agency, International Atomic Agency, and the importance of finding aspiration for our youth, or the Arab youth, for a prosperous region. President Sisi also addressed the participants, in which he spoke about four important pivots: the integral security of the region, the importance of development, and the cooperation among the Arab countries for the development of the whole region. Also, the importance of confronting challenges facing the region, including the external interference in the domestic affairs, as well as the importance of a region that is clean of any weapons of mass destruction, as well as finding a solution for the Arab causes at large. The President also spoke about the importance of the Arab integration in face of challenges, and reiterated that the Arab security is part of Egypt's security. That was always asserted. A number of the Arab leaders, or the Gulf leaders, also gave speeches before this gathering, in which they reiterated the importance of Arab integration in face of the challenges that is facing the whole region. Earlier, also, there was a meeting between President Sisi and the U.S. President in Saudi Arabia, and they have brought about a number of issues of mutual concern, especially that Egypt and the United States are celebrating the centennial or are marking the centennial diplomatic relationship relations since more than one century. To highlight the importance of this conference and highlight the points that were discussed, we'll be having with us over the phone Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Your Excellency, Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. And a number of issues were brought in both the speech by the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and President Sisi. Let me first take your note on the speech of the President, in which he puts, or he framed 4 pivots for the success of the region in this upcoming stage. Your Excellency.
It is a very important meeting, in my opinion, and it is well prepared on our side also. Many consultations took place in Cairo during the visits of several kings and heads of states. Our president went to the Gulf to several countries, and he made phone calls to his counterparts. So the Arab front is well prepared. And also the American front is well prepared because he made a stopover in Israel and another in the Palestinian territory. But the issue is that our priorities is not the same like the United States, especially in the regional affairs. On the international affairs, we have common understanding towards illegal migration, money laundering, drug trafficking, or terrorism. And in energy, I think we can come to a good deal for both sides. In security, we can come to a very good deal both sides. It comes here to the regional affairs that always our friends on the western part of the world are always pointing to the wrong enemy. They are trying to tell us that Iran is the enemy, while there is another enemy occupying Arab territory, denying the right of the Palestinians to live, occupying the Golan Heights in Syria, threatening Lebanon in its economic zone in the eastern part of the Mediterranean. This is the main priority of the Arab world, and it was put clear to our partners, whether America or the Europeans. Here also, he came with a proposal to establish a sort of an Arab NATO against this wrong enemy, which is Iran. And the Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs was very clear to deny this, to say that Iran is not the enemy. And the Iranian Ministry of Foreign Affairs declared a sort of welcoming of the Egyptian position. So let us talk serious, let us talk business, and we shall not create the wrong enemy. Iran is also, the relation is not on the ambassadorial level, but we have one of the best investors in Egypt is Iran. Iran is a partner which we can deal with it. We don't need the United States or Israel to stop the Iranian engagement in many problems, such as in Syria or Lebanon or Yemen. So I think diplomatically I am satisfied that our part, especially the Egyptian part, express its position. So our position is quite clear to all our partners.
Your Excellency, the slogan of this conference is Jeddah Security and Development Summit. So they have raised both the issue of security and the issue of development. And all the Arab leaders have expressed the willingness to open their hands and to extend their hands with peace in return for the other hand extended with peace.
Yes.
How do you view the importance of what we have been hearing, or how did you read that? Because a number of issues were really put on the table, including the balance in energy.
Yes, of course we can agree on choosing the titles of our agenda, but we have to know and agree upon what do we mean by this word or the other word. What do we mean by security? What do we mean by energy? What do we mean by human rights? Because I am personally, as you well know, I refuse to put human rights in the agreement with Europe without defining what do we mean by human rights. And Egypt is the only country who puts the meaning of human rights, and we said human rights as it was mentioned in the International Declaration of Human Rights of the United Nations 1946. Because now they come to you saying that human rights, it means stop the death penalty, or to stop marrying more than one lady, or to allow the freedom of sexual orientation, something which you will never accept. This reminds me with a joke I always repeat it politically, that when Captain Cook went to Australia and he discovered that he is an animal who walks behind on his legs, and he asked his companion what's the name of this animal, and an Australian answered, it is kangaroo. So we know that this animal called kangaroo, but what we did not know, that kangaroo in the Australian language, it means I don't know.
Here, let me hear Your Excellency speak about what exactly was mentioned regarding the issue of balance. Here, the Crown Prince spoke about raising the Saudi Arabia's pumping of the oil to 13 million barrels per day instead of the 12, in order to initiate a kind of balance, or to in a way
to compensate what the problem of Ukraine.
Yes, but here the conference itself was speaking about how to balance security with development. Definitely, the region doesn't want to go into other wars, and in fact, they have already spoken about the importance of finding solutions to the Arab causes. How do you view this extension of hand with peace in return for also another hand that is extended with peace and development?
Here we have to be very clear also about what do we mean. Because, of course, energy is a problem towards the whole world. But if we want to solve the energy problem, we have to ask all the producers to raise their production until the situation in Russia and Ukraine is solved. But to ask Saudi Arabia only to increase its production, this is unfair, because we know that the United States can increase its production. But during decades, United States was keeping its oil and put it in reserves while they buy the cheap Arab oil. This is not fair. So we have to be clear about these things, and it's not impossible to find a solution which suits everybody. And I think the Saudis are resisting this attitude.
Yes, rather, the Crown Prince has said that Saudi Arabia will raise its pumping to 13 million, I mean here 1 million more barrel per day. But also, he spoke about the importance of the Palestinian cause that has to see a concrete solution. He spoke about the importance of finding a solution to some of the Arab countries, including Syria and Libya, the culmination of the situation in Yemen, and in which the Crown Prince also spoke about the continue of culmination to the situation in Yemen. Also a region that is safe from or clean from any weapons of mass destruction. And we're not just speaking this time about a certain entity, but some entities who are extending their hands with peace and technology also. So
let me start by the end. Middle East free from nuclear weapons. And we asked the Minister of Defense of the United States 10 years ago, why you are so anxious to make the Middle East free from nuclear weapons if it's coming from Iran or from North Korea. Why you are not that allergic about the 300 warheads of nuclear bombs in Israel? The answer was amazing. He said, because we are allergic about the bomb in the hands of non-democratic countries. We answer him, but the only threat coming to us is a bomb coming from a democratic country. Would it differ to you if you are bombed with a democratic bomb or non-democratic bomb? So here we are playing with words, and we must be clear. And you remember the initiative of Egypt 20, 30 years ago to make the Middle East free from nuclear weapons. And the West voted against us in the International Agency for Nuclear Energy, and they take a biased position to cover the existence of nuclear weapons in Israel while we are claiming that this is a real threat. So here it's not clear, the Western position. And if you talk seriously to any friend from the European countries, he will confess that they cannot do anything about it. So let us not exaggerate. Let us not exaggerate about Iran, which is far from making the bomb, or to talk about North Korea, and closing our eyes about the immediate threat on our neighbor country, which is having the rockets and the bomb and the ways to threat all the region with this bomb.
Reading also into the speech by President Sisi, because the President also spoke a kind of or rather a long speech in which he framed how can the region be taken into a safe haven. The President spoke about some of the very important points illustrating the importance of security and dealing with the challenges that are facing the region. We have also seen a meeting between President Sisi and the U.S. President before the start of the GCC session here with the American participation. How do you view, or how do you read the cornerstones as mentioned by President Sisi to a stable region?
We hold a very clear position. That's why every friend or partner comes to us and talks to us, because Egypt has a very clear policy, non-aligned policy, stability and development, like you said. So any wise politician should, and he would listen quite clear to Egypt's advices. And I was following what our president said. It is exactly a piece of stability and development formula for the region. So let us stand at this position, and I think we shall, on the long run, we can win our situation, because all those who are dear and friends to Israel, they are advising Israel to accept the two-state solution. Even Biden said it when he was in Israel. But yesterday there was a cartoon in one of our newspapers saying that Biden said the solution of two-state countries, the first one is Israel and the second one is Israel. This will lead Israel to nowhere, because I always say if I close my eyes for 20 years, there isn't any future to this country without giving back the Golan Heights to Syria, without conflicting with Lebanon, with its economic zone in the Mediterranean, without giving the Palestinians the right of their state, sovereign state, which its capital is Eastern Jerusalem.
Yes.
They signed this in Oslo treaty with Yasser Arafat.
Yes.
So now they are implementing what they agreed and signed upon.
Yes, Your Excellency, here the President reiterated a very important point, which is reiterating the importance of Arab forces for the security of the region. These were the words or the focus or one of the most important issues that were raised by the President.
Yes, this position is quite clear. It depends on us also to talk as much as it takes to the American president, and I don't think that any wise man, whether American or European, will deny what we are saying. The problem is that they are biased to Israel in a very strange way. But if we continue like that, this means that we also join the friends of Israel who are advising Israel to come forward with a reasonable solution for the Palestinian question.
Yes.
Without this, nothing can be done.
Yes. Your Excellency, Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister, thank you so much. I guess that this is why the issue of Arab forces was reiterated by the President, because this has been a call by Egypt since a few years in order to be able to secure a secured region and fulfill the aspiration of its people. We thank you so much for being with us over the phone. I guess that takes us to the end of this coverage, and we'll be updating you in this or in these upcoming hours about the details of the summit that is taking place today in Jeddah. And stay tuned for the Panorama News coming right after this.